it is the last night. We are packed up. We've already put our suitcases in the hallway. We're headed off the ship tomorrow morning.
Getting off in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's been a quick cruise. It's probably one of the shortest ones we've ever done. Only 3 days,
Yeah.
from Vancouver to San Francisco. But it's our first time on Cunard, and I think we do have some thoughts on the experience.
Yeah, I learned a lot by going doing some training, and then I've also experiencing it for ourselves, even if it's just for a couple days. We've learned a lot about Cunard. Kind of like any other cruise line, there's some things they really do well, and there's a lot of things that we were a little disappointed in.
They have a great job with accommodating those with like mobility challenges, right? So all of the thresholds have ramps, make it very easy to get around. All of the floors in all of the public areas are flat. They're very open and very easy to get around.
This ship holds just over 2,000 people, and we are at capacity. Everybody's are nice and spread out. There's places to sit. The hallways, I don't know, we haven't had to like scoot to the side in the hallway getting by people. It's throughout the cruise, it's just been, I really like that. I was shocked when they told us it was at capacity because it didn't feel like it. Deck chairs out by the pool, plenty of it. In the Queen's room where they do other events, like they have ballroom dancing, we just walked past and there were just still people dancing. And the cafe, I could always find a place to sit down and order me a latte. So I really think that's great that you can always find a place to sit down even when the ships are at capacity.
As with anything else, we came into this with some expectations. Now, Melissa had been invited on board as a travel agent for the training, so we did get a discounted travel agent rate for this really short cruise. But we paid for it, right? So I think we're certainly going to be honest about it, and around how it met or didn't meet those expectations. In particular, I was really had a high level of service in mind, right? I was really expecting to be wowed with the service. And again, we were only here for 3 days, and we didn't really get a chance to learn a lot of the crew members on board, for example. But certainly it wasn't the wow, this is the level of service I was expecting experience at all.
Like you mentioned, we didn't get to know any of the crew like by name, that they didn't get our name, because we did try for dinner. We didn't do the same thing twice. We didn't go to the dining room every night. The first night we were in the dining room, it was okay. The service was good. We had great conversation. We were by two other couples. That was fun to talk to them. But and then the service was a little slow. The menu, I was not crazy about the menu. I ended up ordering a salad for my entree because the items were on the menu, just didn't appeal to me. So there wasn't anything that was wow. Brian, I think, got some fish, and
Yeah.
how was that?
Oh, it was delicious. The fish was fantastic. I couldn't even tell you what kind of fish it was, but it was served over a bed of potatoes, and I really enjoyed it. But it was funny because even that, I think they attempted to serve it to the wrong couple to begin with, and that happened to like twice, during 3 courses.
It made me think about it, but I don't know that was
Yeah,
the
not
best
a
thing to
not a
say.
crisis in any way. I
Yeah.
mean, it's certainly not offended,
Yeah.
but it was one of those things where it didn't really meet the expectations, I think, of the
Right.
level of service.
And then we've already talked about the second night, which was last night. We ate at Frontier, and I think we've already covered and talked about that a little bit. Again, it wasn't awful, but some of the food was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
So again, it wasn't just wow, and it took a while. And we had lunch in the pub day before yesterday,
Yep.
and so we thought, well, let's go back and have dinner in the pub tonight because I just wasn't feeling the main dining room after that first night. For one thing, before we ever ordered, we sat there, and we sat there, and we sat there, and we sat there, and we walked in
And
about
it's a pub,
yeah,
right? Well, I'm
right.
not waiting on food necessarily at that point.
Even for just a
come by
drink.
and offer a drink in a pub.
Yeah. And then it wasn't just us. There were other
Yeah.
tables too that were kind of looking around like, are we going to get some service?
We watched a couple people actually get up and leave.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about service. How long do you wait in a restaurant, in a bar, in a pub, um, where there's really not that many people in here, and you're being overlooked? Probably not deliberately. I'm not saying that by a long shot, but come on. Really had to get up and kind of fetch our own drinks from the bar, and we still haven't had anybody come by. So I'm a little surprised. I was really had much higher expectations. And I'm sure there's something else going on, probably a shift change or what have you, but this is what it is.
Someone finally came and took everybody's orders, and then that kind of got everything rolling, and we got our food. And I got some sesame, let's see, sticky sesame duck drumstick. The meat was good, but I had to basically pick up the drumstick and just eat it off of it because I couldn't pull it off with a fork to put it in a little pancake. But the flavor was there, but it was just a
It
little
looked good.
dry and hard to pull off the drumstick. So what about
Yep.
what you had? You had the mac and cheese.
I had the mac and cheese as an appetizer, and it was good. It could have used some like panko breadcrumbs, but I mean it's mac and cheese. It was it was good. And then for an entree, I ended up with the lamb shank, and it had a really good flavor, and it was tender, and it had several different sauces to go with it. I enjoyed it.
We're getting off in San Francisco tomorrow, but when they leave San Francisco, they're headed to they're going to hit Honolulu. It's going to hit Fiji, a couple other ports, and then on to Australia. So that's an amazing itinerary. So I'm really jealous of that. But they do a British Isles. They go up to Iceland. There's a lot of itineraries. So this sounds like something you'd like to do. Please reach out to me. I am a travel advisor, as I've mentioned, Melissa at wandersbymelissa.com, and I would love to help you get on board as well. And stay tuned to our channel because we do have more cruises coming up. We are headed out again. A quick 3-day again on the Carnival Glory out of Port Canaveral. That is a true weekend vibe. When we disembark from the Carnival Glory, we're going to just change terminals and go hop on Royal Caribbean's brand new Utopia of the Seas. They're calling Utopia of the Seas the world's largest weekend. So we want to do a little comparison. Let's try a true weekend on Carnival Glory and then hop right back on Utopia of the Seas, and let's just see who does it better.
And those two are going to be quite a contrast to sailing this one on Cunard.
Give us a like and make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. So we have a lot of content coming, and we'd love for you to stay tuned. And thanks for watching. Mwah.